Robert Conyas is our guest today. He deals with domestic violence in his court every single day, and as a matter of fact, that's the only thing that his court does, designated to deal with an insidious problem that continues to plague our country, neighborhoods all across America. And we have yet another caller right now. I'd like to share some stories, I am told. So let's go to online too, 888-787-5543 if you'd like to head down the home stretch with us. Summer in Arlington, how are you?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Well, we're just fine. What's on your mind?
I have a question for the judge.
Go for it.
My question is, as a domestic violence survivor, I listened to what you talked about and how in the court, like the different steps that you go through, and I guess in the way of, I don't necessarily punishing them or, to get to where they need to be is women, I know me, I never did anything about it because I always knew that, they're going to come, they may get arrested, they get out, that next day. And knowing that if they're going to go to court and get several slaps on the hand, within that meantime, I could have been dead at that point. And, I know that my abuser would have thought all that was a joke and not taken it serious. And, I worry that because the punishment that they don't receive from it, makes it no big deal to them. And, that the victim doesn't feel like, by them stepping up, saying anything, that it's a safe place or a safe, a way for them to be protected because, protective orders is just a piece of paper, all the steps she can go through. But they know what's coming to them, so, what's going to make them stop by knowing what's going to come out of, say, your court or somebody else's court?
All right, let me check with the judge and have him comment on that.
Yeah, that's a great question. There are a lot of gaps in the way that the criminal justice system responds to domestic violence. I'll name one, and that is, in my court, I receive cases from about 15, 18 different police departments, and some of them are really good on sending the case up to court, within a couple of days of the assault happening. Others, they take literally months to file their cases. And, as a judge, the more time that passes from the time an assault happens to the time I see the case for the first time just diminishes my effectiveness in either issuing orders that would help keep a victim safe or to start that ball rolling when it comes to accountability. So that's one example of a gap that still exists in the criminal justice system. In terms of having the guy themselves actually, feel some accountability or punishment, I think we do a better job of that than most courts. And it's not, jail time is not really the solution. We've done studies out of my court. There's studies from other courts that show that guys who only take jail time and don't get any kind of counseling, like the Batterers Intervention and Prevention Program, they're at 300 times more likely to recidivate and commit another domestic violence assault. So we have to work with them in terms of getting them into the counseling. I hold them accountable, like if they miss classes or aren't taking the classes seriously, there's a spectrum of things that I could do to start to get their attention, give them a little kick in the where to get them back on the right road. And, there are some guys definitely who look at me and say, Judge, I'm not doing any of that. And then we've got a solution for that, for those guys too.
Lock them up.
Summer, let me ask you this. Where's your abuser today?
I have no idea and don't care to know.
Okay, why did you not leave sooner? It sounds like this was a repetitive thing.
There was a lot of factors to it. I had a child.
With him?
No, thank the Lord, no. But when you have a child, you got to think of the logistics that goes out, where you're going to go. When you're in a controlled, abusive relationship, you have no money, you have no access to money, you don't, your every move has to be accounted for, and so strategic planning is very involved in trying to get away from that. And if you do try to go, then, you're going to get it even worse, when you're not successful at getting away.
Let me ask you this. before we let you go, as you look back now, is there a message? We asked LaDonna the same question. Is there a message that you would share with other women that would be listening today that are dealing with domestic violence today or tomorrow or yesterday, or those that never have been a part of it, thankfully? What would you share with them? What would you tell people about it and what you learned from it?
Well, first off, the main thing is when you get into a relationship, like she had said, is, you don't know who the person is, but look for the red flags. I had the red flags all around me, and I was just too young and dumb to look at them, but red flags are huge. You look at the relationships they have with other people, and you look at the way they handle small situations and the outbursts that they have over their demeanor of the way that they handle them. And if you're stuck in that situation and can't get a way out, there is a way out. There's so many programs out there for people that, to break out, and where they can set you up with jobs, counseling, places to go. Some places even have, special housing set up. There are a lot of places to turn to get that help you needed to get away from the abuser. There is always somewhere to go, and you just have to swallow your pride and get out and just get to one of those places.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we're running short of time, but Summer, can't thank you enough for calling in. Thanks for your thoughts, and we certainly wish you all the best moving forward. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Judge, we've just got a couple of minutes. For Trey, for Calvin, for Steve, for yours truly, what's the final message or the take-home that you might share with our listeners tonight? That
the system can help. Just thinking about Summer's question and situation, the system can help. I think if I as a judge have certain tools and powers and abilities to make a situation safer, and as the case progresses, inject accountability down the line. We've seen a lot of success. It's not every guy, but we've seen a lot of guys make that change from using violence in their relationship to stop using violence.
I think it's great, Judge, and you do try to use the tools that are there. And there have been situations where I've seen where sometimes people just have to get locked up, and they have to kind of feel it a little bit. Sometimes locking them up and making them go to jail, they lose their job. They start to feel it a little differently. If it hits them financially, they start to feel it differently. And I think that you do a great job in your court, and we're just glad to have you on and hope we can fix some of this.
Trey, anything? 15 seconds?
Well, I think the embarrassment of some people getting locked up, I think that's a good I think that discourages them. Some people, it doesn't necessarily have a big effect on people that are a little bit more used to it. But I commend what you're doing, and keep up the good work.
Thanks. Steve?
Yeah, I'll just say self-help as far as getting out. As Summer said, when you recognize the signs, same, in marriage and everything, you gotta pay attention to the signs because they exist for a reason. Mm-hmm. And, of course, education is the biggest help for that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Thank you so much. Really, we can't thank you enough, not just for coming on the show, but all you do every single day. Judge Robert Conyas has been our guest, presiding judge of County Criminal Court number 10 in Dallas County, and the first Latino, I might add, to hold that position. So good for you. His court handles only domestic violence cases. That's what we've been talking about tonight. I tell you what, Judge, if you're up for it, we'd love to have you back. All right, we certainly hope you will. In the meantime, we thank you for being a part of our program tonight. As we always remind you, live your life as a go-getter, share your life as a go-giver. Till next Sunday, I'm Scott Murray. Good night, Texas.